do have some slides to show. Okay. Our trip to Uganda was, well, we went through International Messengers, and International Messengers is an organization out of Clear Lake, Iowa. They've been around for about 40 years, and they're one of their biggest goals is to send small groups of people to countries to do English camps, Bible study camps. And Del and I have gone the last 4 years to Uganda, where Pastor Clark's sister Whitney and her husband Josh have been missionaries now for, I think, about 5 years. They started about the time that COVID hit, and so they were delayed a little bit in going over there and serving. But we've been involved for the last 4 years, going and doing vacation Bible schools with the school that Josh and Whitney are at. A couple times we went to other areas, but Josh has been involved in all of the Bible studies we've done. It's like you say, go to the other side of the world. I mean, it is literally. It's about a 8-hour flight to Europe, and then about another 9-hour flight from usually Amsterdam to Entebbe. And Entebbe is right on the equator, on the north shore of Lake Victoria. This year we had, I think, about was it 9 of us that went, and we made it to Entebbe. And the travel's always something. There's always the devil's always trying to slow us down. This year was luggage that didn't arrive for about 3 days. Del and I always do carry-on luggage, so we had ours, so we had to share toothpaste with other people. I didn't share my underwear. They were able to stop and buy some things to keep them going. But this year we stayed at a place that was really like a resort, right? Very nice. It was made exactly or primarily for groups that do mission trips. And the owner is English speaking. I'm not sure if he was Canadian or American, but it was a wonderful place to stay. And we actually had air conditioning in our room and great food. It was called the Lookout. That was the place that we stayed at. This is the lobby. This is kind of part of the lobby. We ate breakfast in there. We were able to order breakfast every evening for the next day, and then after breakfast we ordered our dinner meal, and so it was great. This is our group that was there this year. We've got Josh Smith on the left-hand side, and way on the right side is Brent Howland. He's the director of International Messengers, and a great guy and a great leader. There's a few other people sprinkled in there. Del and I, and we have Kasha and Ken Golding. We had a mother-daughter team and a couple other ladies that came along. So we did a VBS at, first of all, at Legacy Mission High School, and that is the school that Pastor talked about. It's in its first year, and it was quite incredible to see what has happened in about the last year and a half or so with the construction and the kids that are coming there now. There's about 140 kids that are 8th graders at the high school. And they do their school a little different. They go primary through 7th grade, and then high school starts in 8th grade. So they have basically 5 years of high school. Legacy Mission High School is located in Paichau, and it's just outside of Gulu, 10 miles or so. It's hard to tell mileage there because the roads are so, everything's slow in driving. So maybe it's about a 20-25 minute drive. But I thought for just the first little bit here, I'm gonna switch over, and Josh and Whitney recently did a YouTube of the school and what's happening, and that's not it. Maybe it is. No, sorry.
We are the Smiths, and we are your missionaries in Uganda, Africa. My name is Joshua.
My name is Whitney. My name is Jordan. My name is Jonah. My name is Jada.
We want to welcome you to Legacy Mission High School. If you were a
You might have to escape out of the.
I have to escape out of the other one.
Don't be shy.
Do you want help?
How about that? Stay, turn it off.
If you hit escape and get out of presentation mode of the PowerPoint.
student here, this is what you would experience.
I didn't rehearse this.
Yeah, I know. Yes.
We'll just shut that one down. Wow. We won't hear from them.
There you go. It's on.
Okay.
On the bottom there.
It's not on my screen though.
Oh.
You might be able to, is there a keyboard command, Luke, you could hit to start?
Yeah, there's usually a function key.
You may just have to look up on the screen, Jed, and use your cursor that way.
It's thinking.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Sugar here, it's out. Spelled right at home. I would say. It's okay though.
Do you see a mouse or?
Where's the cursor?
There.
There we go.
It's walking into the school. The building over there is our science wing.
Hi, this is Jordan. As we're walking down to the classroom blocks, this is my friend Polycarp. We are walking down to the classroom block. We have three classrooms, and each one have their names, Stream A, Stream B, and Stream C. We have around 15 subjects. Just to name a few: chemistry, biology, physics, agriculture, and many more. As we're walking, this is Stream A, and they are for their mathematics lesson. And we are learning how to construct perpendicular similar to a farmer's market, but it is teaching us how to have communication and how to form proper sentences. This is Stream C, and they are for entrepreneurship classes. In entrepreneurship, we are learning how to be an entrepreneur, how to be a business person. So we are learning the risk and how to control the risk of a business.
When you're leaving class, you would walk along the path to the girls' dormitory. On the left there is our construction storeroom, which is helping us store all the construction materials. We will be continuing construction for probably the next 6 years. This year we have 140 students, which is in the class of what we would call 8th grade in America. So next year, these 8th graders will go to 9th grade, and we believe we'll get another 140 students as new 8th graders. Welcome to your dormitory. So inside the dormitory, we have around 48 female students who are staying with us throughout the term. And in the morning, if you were a student here, you would wake up very early and begin your study hall. And then you would begin class at 7 a.m. and go all the way to 5 p.m. And then again in the evening, you would do study hall again.
As you walk in to the dormitory, you will see many bunk beds, and they have nets on them. This protects them from having malaria. The little mosquitoes that carry a parasite in them so that they potentially can get you sick. As we continue on, you'll see buckets under these bunk beds, and this is for hand washing clothing, and you have trunks that they put their personal items, where their uniforms can be placed, and so forth.
As we walk out of the dormitory, we walk along the path, we can see things like our kitchen, and in the far corner is the boys' dormitory. As we continue on, we want to continue to receive many children. Our goal here is to educate them well and teach them the Word of God and who they are by the salvation in Jesus Christ. Right now, this is our temporary kitchen as we finish our main building. That's the morning breakfast, which is porridge, and we see our other cook there making chapatis, which are like tortillas for the staff. Behind her, another cook is preparing the beans. A main food in schools in Uganda is beans and something called posho. Posho is corn flour, which you mix together with boiling water. Thank you so much for being a part of what God is doing here in Uganda at Legacy Mission High School.
You can hit escape again to take it out of full screen.
See, Jed?
Yes.
That red and black, are they in their uniforms then?
Yes.
Picture?
Yes, they are.
They got several uniforms. They're not all same.
Talk amongst yourselves for me.
Their clothes.
It worked. Okay, this is one of the classrooms that they have now, and last year we weren't able to go and look at the construction that was taking place. Dell and I we were delayed 7 days last year, and so we ended up having to come home on our appointed time, and so we didn't have a chance to go out and see that during construction. But they're really nice schools, and nice buildings, and we were really impressed. They start every day with flag raising, and it's kind of neat to see them. I know Jordan always likes to participate in that.
I have a question. What do the three flags stand for? I know one's for Uganda, but what are the other two?
It's a good question. Okay. I knew that somebody's going to ask that. I don't know. I think it's probably for the state also. I mean, Uganda, the country, is in the middle, and I think the one on the left might be the maybe Legacy School flag.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Christian flag with the cross.
On the left, yeah, it would be. This is another building, and this one they're using it. It still needs some finishing on the outside, but it's a bigger building than the other classroom building. So every morning we would gather at the school, and we did a 3-day vacation Bible school there, and every morning we'd start off with a group of people, and we would normally do a skit, and we would sing some songs. The girls would even lead them in a dance. I didn't do the dancing. I watched, and so let's see if this. Oh, sound. Know that song?
Yeah.
So then after we would have the opening with all the kids, and like I said, there was about 140 kids in 9th grade. Next year they anticipate maybe another 140 or more, maybe up to 300 kids in the first 2 grades. So the school is well received. The people that the kids that come here, their parents, they pay a tuition, and it's room and board also, and so they come for the whole semester basically. This is not just one classroom. We're kind of jammed in here for a presentation too, but the kids are wonderful. They're very respectful. They're very quiet. When we do a Bible study or something, you'd ask a question, and they would talk very quietly. And I'd go a little closer, and they'd talk quieter. And I'd get right next to them, and they'd barely whisper. And sometimes I just gave up. But they're neat kids. This is more of a normal classroom setting, kind of spaced out there. Good. This is our classroom, and we would have the Bible lesson in the morning, and then later in the afternoon we'd have more of a group thing and do games or crafts. They love to, even high school kids, they love to color with pencils or whatever, markers. They would spend hours doing that if they could. They just never have a chance to do it. So this is just our people that were on the group this year. Adele's holding a little baby that was born. Her name is Legacy. Yeah, they named her Legacy. So we were just being introduced to the group at that point. This is the boys' dorm, and you can see that they're working on a fence around here, security fence for the around the perimeter of the whole school, but also to protect the kids, the boys and the girls, and in their dormitories. You saw, yes.
What are they being protected from?
I don't know, there must be a lot of, probably vandalism and theft, I'm thinking. I don't know about violence that much, but every place you go, they have walls and wire, barbed wire on the top of the walls. They just to keep people out, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of places. I mean, the hotel we stay at, they have a guard at the gate, and it's, you know, people don't make much money, and you'd think that, you know, maybe you'd have one guard and there would be about 3 of them. Just that, I think it's because they want to employ people, and but it's kind of a neat atmosphere.
Are there any animals over there that they have to be protected from?
Well, not right there, but yeah, I mean, they do have some snakes. The fence won't stop the snakes though, but yeah. Mostly mosquitoes you have to be afraid of, I think. This is one of the bathrooms, the boys' bathroom, and they're just rudimentary bathrooms. This is a picture of the construction of the new boys' dormitory for next year. So every year they have to build another dormitory to house the boys and the girls. So this one was just being started the day that we left. So Josh had put this on Facebook of the construction. You can see it's gone on quite well. Just another picture of one of the classrooms, just kind of a detail. This is our class, and they, like I said, they're very respectful. They're very happy. Have anything to add to the?
How old are those girls?
They're all 9th grade. 8th grade. I'm sorry. They're all 8th grade, but they can be a variety of ages, because the kids can't go to school unless they can pay for it, and so a lot of these kids are older. Yeah, they're older. I would guess there'd be even 15, 16 years old, some of them.
Jed,
Yes.
how much does it cost?
It was $840 for the year if they stayed there, right?
Yeah.
That was including their tuitions. I don't know what it is without room and board, but it was
Yeah.
$840 for the year.
Yes, $840 for a year, so that's $70 a month, right?
Yes.
Yes, $70 a month, which is, it's so cheap. But one day they want to know what our currency looked like, so I had a few $1 bills I passed around, and they were asking, well, how much is this worth? And I said it was about 3,700 Uganda shillings. And just like, you can't fathom, that kind of a variation in the currency. But
Do they deal in shillings?
they deal in shillings. It's the British that were down there for a long time. They have shillings all over it.
Jed,
Yes,
is it local labor that builds the building?
yes, local people that built it. Yeah, I was a little, we had been up in it was Powell,
Oh, well.
and seeing the buildings up there, I was a little concerned when they said they were going to use local people, because it was kind of, it was really kind of rough construction. But this is done very nicely, and it's they do a really great job. And when they're working, they have about 6 or 8 guys working on one small area there, so it's pretty labor intensive, I guess. This is our class. I don't know. This is Dell always wanted to ask questions of kids, and one of them was, they want to know where we're from, and we told them Minnesota, and they don't know where Minnesota is from anything. They know where the U.S. is, but one of the things she always asked them is, how old do you think we are? And they guessed Dell at 60. And well, how old do you think Jed is? 90. We didn't ask that question anymore. I know we're only 3 years apart, not 3 decades. Right? So anyway, but so the emphasis on the education, as he said, is a Christ-centered education. One thing that's really neat. Well, I should back up. Some of the orphans that they've been involved with since they went to Uganda, Josh and Whitney, they are now of the age that when they're in high school. So that's the first year. And so there's a lot of outside kids, of course, that come into the school outside of outside of the refugee kids. One neat thing is that kids get this Christ-centered education, and they'll take that back home to their parents, and the word is being spread that way. The gospel is going forward to the families from the bottom up, if you would. Josh showed a picture of the kitchen. This is another one. They're preparing some meat of some kind. They do have beef, they do have goat. It's all tough to eat. It tastes good, but you just can't. Bring your floss. I don't know what else to say. Sorry. Just another picture of the walkways between the classrooms. You saw Jordan had on her presentation.
What are the walkways made of?
That's just gravel.
It's gravel?
Yeah, the sides are concrete. Yeah. That's.
Who mows the grass?
I don't know, the goats. They have people that take care of the facility. So our last day, we had kind of a gathering of all the kids out in their center court area, mall area, and we were all together, and they gave a lot of people gave speeches, and the kids danced, and just kind of a thank you for us for coming, and they're very appreciative of it. It means so much to them that people come from a long ways away and do that.
Besides you and Dale, how many other visitors were there?
There was about 9 of us total from our group, yeah. And then with Josh and Whitney, and there's local teachers. The teachers would help us too, and so it gets, we had plenty of staff to.
So those other 9, where were they from?
The other what?
The other 9, where were they from?
All from Iowa. There's 7 of them.
Oh.
Yeah. They came from Grace Church in Mason City. Okay. That's it. Just a little sample of that. You can get to it. So on the last day, this is very typical of all the times we've been there. I want to go back. They always have a little celebration, and they have a cake. And this is a cake that they had made with the Uganda flag and the U.S. flag on it. Not 50 stars, but it's close. It's cute. And like I said, a lot of speeches, a lot of thank yous, and a lot of tears. Then the next day after that, we went to a smaller area, and this is where a lot of the refugee kids are, and it's Lifebridge Nursery and Primary, and you can see that right here is where one of the safety huts that were moved from Powell are now located. I don't know who this little boy is, but he sure is.
I asked if I could take his picture.
He really posed. Cute kid. So this is our kind of our center meeting area. This is really a low cost facility, dirt floors, and this is just a roof where we had our meetings. We had our we'd eat our lunch there. Actually, we did breakfast there too. They'd insist we eat breakfast there, and we'd already had breakfast. Politely had something anyway. And at noon they would make some of the posho, rice and beans, a lot of watermelon, mango, pineapple, wonderful fruits, pretty good. This is just their kind of their motto, I guess, on the back of their shirts. Better a child, save a future. That's the kids there. The kids there range from 3 to 13. 3 to 13. So there's some really young kids there, and they stay in these safety huts that are shown here. Those safety huts come from Iowa, actually, and they were originally up in Powell, and they were. What happened up in Powell is that the man that owned the land there decided that he didn't want them anymore. Just to put it that, it was more to it than that. But they were forced to leave, and but they were able to go and disassemble all these huts, steel buildings, and relocate them to this place. So that was very good that happened. There's still a couple of the grass-covered huts there at the same location, and this lady is kind of sorting out the beans to be cooked for the lunch.
So Jed,
Yes.
are all of the kids that you said were refugee kids, are they the ones that don't have parents or?
They either don't have parents or their parents are in a refugee camp in the northern part of Uganda, and sometimes the kids can go home and see their parents, but basically they stay at the safety huts all year. This is a picture of just some 4 girls in their uniforms, and just a kind of a detail of one of the safety huts.
They stay cool in a metal hut.
The top is ventilated, and they have ventilation. They do stay cool, and you're right on the equator. But we got home to Minnesota after being there. It was hotter here. I was talking to we were talking to little Jonah one time, and we were talking about winter, and he said, "Well, we don't have winter here. They don't. The temperature's the same all year round. They're right on the equator almost."
So what is the average temp?
It's probably 85.
And some of the kids will go around with winter jackets on anyway.
Yeah, yeah. They're cool. Cold. Okay. Some of the little boys just heading to lunch, I guess. And the picture on the right is our classroom. It's a better picture. The next one, a little wider angle. So that's just in an open building, a dirt floor. And I don't know if there's any people here that do masonry construction. You wouldn't want to look at these columns here because
I was gonna ask, did you feel safe under that
I
structure?
felt safe, but I just couldn't quite see why they didn't square things off. They just have bricks sticking out and mortar joints this thick. It was a little different. Another picture of our class. So here again, we did a 3-day VBS, and it was great. Nothing is too hard for you, God, I think was the verse. I didn't get the introduction where it was from. They love, like I said, they love to do art and color, and we had some projects, and this is our class after one of those projects. Yeah, they're cute kids. They would, in the morning, again, we'd have a gathering and do a skit and sing some songs, and sometimes the kids would, or one of the kids would lead, and here's one that she was leading in the worship. Shoes. Here's another one. It's hard to hear. Okay. On our last day, we in the afternoon we had Brent Howland had an idea. We should have the kids make paper airplanes and then have a contest to see who can land them on a table. And it was a competition between his class and our class. And we were in the same building, so this is the prep, getting ready to throw the planes. And I've told you how quiet the kids are. Not when they do this. I threw one too, but I'm out of the picture. Mine didn't land on the. Yeah, so after 3 days of VBS, then and they typically do this on these mission trips to Uganda. We go on a safari, and we did that again this year. We were able to go to on a safari. Ended up being in Murchison Falls also, but the safari was in eastern Uganda, and saw some animals. We were probably a half a day, went out early, and then in the evening we got to the Nile River, and we did a cruise on the Nile and along the river elephants. And I do have some videos of those, but yeah, not of this one. So that's kind of a typical sunset in Uganda. It's a sunrise. How do you know? Oh, it looks the same when it's sunsetting. So, any questions at this point?
I think I have one for
Okay.
Bill. At the National Convention in Omaha, they have one day that's all 3 sessions of service projects to make things to send over. One of them was the sanitary napkins for girls. Did you ever find out, Del, if the girls are using those cloth sanitary napkins, or what are they using? That's why I asked about their age, and I don't know at what age they start to menstruate.
Did you send some there?
What?
You sent some there?
No.
Oh.
We haven't done that.
Oh,
I have no idea
We did, oh my gosh.
what they
I
use.
signed up for the third session, and that was to clean up everything that was a service project. And my section was the cloth sanitary napkins, and there were thousands and thousands, and I was just wondering, do any of them get there, or what do the girls wear?
I don't know what they wear, but we could find out. We could ask Whitney.
Because that is
They maybe
something-
use the real thing.
Well, if they use the real thing, then we're not gonna bother to
Right,
make them.
right.
But if they do use the cloth ones that they have to wash, then we would start making them, because then you can take them, but they're very flat and they don't take up much room to take those with.
We'll check it out.
Wonderful, thank you.
Yes.
Great.
Were there other questions?
Yeah.
How long were you guys there?
This time it was 13 days total, with 2 days, well, longer than 2 days of travel, because once you get there too, then we have a 6 to 8 hour drive to our location. So, 13 days, yeah. And it's not always that many days, it's different every year, it has been, so, yeah.
Do they have doctors?
Shorter.
Doctors over there when somebody gets sick of this?
They do, and they call their medical centers hospitals. Yeah.
They have insurance.
We have insurance?
Through international messengers, we have health insurance when we're there, so anything that comes up, we're covered by the local people.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, I just had some highlights and some thoughts I wanted to share. Now I'm gonna cry, because when we got to Gulu, got off the bus, saw the school building, it was just amazing. And just to think that the generosity of St. John's and all the money they donated, all the prayers, and to see this and that we were an integral part of it was just so awesome. I couldn't keep the tears away. So anyway, yeah. And then I also want to, it was just, another highlight was just a joy to see the kids singing their hearts out, dancing, laughing heartily at our skits, proudly memorizing their Bible verses, playing leading roles in the church services. They were very moving services. And then how they, and we're very attentive. If one of our team members gave a testimony about how they came to Christ, and like Jed said, they colored like nobody's business. If you were trying to transition over to something else, it was a lot of work to get them to put their colors down. Some of them had never seen magic markers before, or colored pencils, or done a jigsaw puzzle. And they just loved doing it. Let's see if I can read my notes here. Oh, and in our classroom, because they were so reserved, it was hard to get them to interact and ask questions and answer questions. And so we did an activity where we asked them to ask a question of us, write it on a piece of paper. They didn't have to put their name on the paper. Whether it's about our family, about America, about God, and it's taken them a long time to write these notes. It's like, oh, can't they think of any questions? They're not going to answer any. Okay, we get the papers back, and they all have about 4 or 5 questions. And it was, wanting to know about our family, lots of good questions about America. And what was really cool was they had some real great questions about God, and what would you do if you were in this situation, and how do you know if a God is, if it's somebody prophesying, and things like that. How do you decipher? Josh and Whitney were fabulous hosts. They were so supportive and so welcoming, and everybody was always thanking us for coming, and our presence meant so much to everyone. They talked about how we impacted the children there, and also the teachers. Some of the teachers are not Christian, and a cool thing at the LifeBridge Nursery and Primary School is there was not one but two teachers that gave their life to Christ one day. Yeah, and in the 4 years we've been there, it's made a big impact on us also, and we'll always remember all the great things that happened and all the wonderful things that God accomplished there. And it was just a privilege to be part of his work.
Dale, didn't you also have a child from there?
What?
From Uganda?
No, we didn't.
You mean through compassion?
Yeah.
No, Ghana.
Well, where was she from? A girl or a boy? The one that you had sponsored?
A girl from Haiti and a boy from Ghana. It reminds me, the first year we were there, this boy, Moses, really was interested in Jed and interested in architecture, and they really bonded, and he got to see him this year, got a picture with him, and yeah, he's a cool kid. So, at times, stepping out of our comfort zone was challenging, and as it is right here for me right now. But I know it's important to be here and to share. We were moved to do hard things when we remembered the difficulties and struggles that the children and staff had to face in the past and even now, and still are. And we feel that God has blessed us to be a blessing to them. I did have a letter from, some girls wrote a letter, I know I shared it with you guys, and I forgot it at home, but they wanted us to greet everyone here, to greet our family, and to greet everyone here, and to thank you all for all the prayers that you have done, given them, and what you've done for the school. And they asked us to please come back. And we got a lot of that, and we would love to. God willing, we will return, and we hope that some of you can return with us, and so that we can just love on them and share the gospel with them. Bill?
Were there a lot of kids that remembered you from past years that are now older?
No, unfortunately, because of the situations each year. The second year, we were at a different location. The third year, because they had lost their land, they were put in with 300 some kids, and because we had different age groups that we taught. So, but there was one girl whose dad runs the bridge, what's it called, the other school, and talking with her, I realized I remembered her from the first year, and then Moses too. But no, that unfortunately, no. So, you know, and the younger kids were, even Jonah didn't remember me from the first year, a couple of years ago, yeah, so they're young, yeah. Any other questions?
You showed them singing. Do you have like banjos or flutes or?
Any instruments in their worship?
It's mostly audio.
Do they do tambourine or any other hand?
Not this year.
No. They are able to play music over something. And they know a lot of hymns. They know word for word. We sang Amazing Grace. They knew every single verse. And they love to sing.
Is there an agenda when you guys go there? I mean, do they give you an agenda when you?
They do. They have a Bible school program. And so every, one year it was, the themes were names for God. This year, we had the prodigal son. Do you remember them all? the
Jesus calming the sea.
Jesus calming the sea, and the man who was healed through the soldier. And that's why they had those masks. Yeah. And so every evening is prep time after supper. We have devotion and prayer time, and prepping for our lessons and learning about what craft we're doing. Somebody's in charge of crafts too. There is public education, and you have to pay for that also. And so a lot of kids don't get to go. These older kids did very well with speaking. We didn't need translators most of the time. The younger kids needed translators. And we had 2 assistant teachers in our room, and all the classrooms did, so that helps. I know our second location, we had 22 kids in our class, but they're so well behaved, that helps a lot. Share.
So if people go over there.
Oh, it's time.
If somebody, go, what would their duties be? Do you get assigned duties every day by somebody?
Our team? Do you mean our team?
Yeah.
Yeah, we each get, we work on we find out what age group we're gonna have, and we have some say in that too. Do the lesson in the morning. You have about 2.5 hours with the kids, and then we have lunch, and then in the afternoon we break up and we have different stations they can go to, and so we kind of choose what station we want to be at. We can switch around. There's sports, soccer, active sports. There's board games and cards, and there's craft stations. There's teaching them how to crochet. All kinds of things. They love it all.
You're basically teaching.
We're basically teaching.
We're teachers.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and the team every year, we are so blessed with the best people ever. We all work together just so well. There's so much unity and so much creativity that it's just fabulous, yeah.
I'll add a little bit too. Oh, we're running out of time.
Yeah.
I was just going to say very briefly that if for international messengers, when we take a mission trip, we have a lot of preparation before that. We do Zoom meetings, and then usually we have one Saturday where we go down to Mason City, Iowa, or Clear Lake, Iowa, and have a meeting with all the people that are going to be teachers that year or on the team, and that really preps us pretty well for what we're going to do. So that's always been a blessing. So this year, we're hoping, I should say next year, we're hoping to bring some people from St. John's with there. Are you planning to go? Catherine's planning to go. Pastor Clark is planning to go. Maybe Josh will still be there. I don't know. Maybe. And so if anyone is interested, I mean, you're going to be hearing more about it. There would be fundraising, I'm sure, involved with that to send people. Dell and I have been able to just pay our own way the last few years, and this year it was a longer session this year. It was $1,500 for the trip itself plus airfare. Well, airfare was about $2,300 per person to get there. So
Once you're there, you don't spend a penny.
Yeah.
It's all totally covered.
Everything's taken
$1
care of,
souvenir,
meals.
That's different.
So
So thank you both for going.
yes.
Thank you both for bringing.
So as we conclude today, we'd like to gather around Josh and pray for him because he's going to be leaving in a couple days. But I'll just close this session with prayer, and then everybody that wants to gather around Josh, we'll pray over him. So. Heavenly Father, we thank you. We thank you for all those that are here and listening, interested in spreading your word throughout the world. That is our mission, is to not leave anybody out in the cold. That we should tell everybody about your saving grace. We thank you for that, Lord, and we thank you for sending us, as we've been blessed to do that the last 4 years. And we pray that others will be involved, that will be interested in going, and wherever it is, that your word will be spread. We pray all this in Jesus'